everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and this morning I am going to take back all the cover of my garden and show you guys what it looks like in a garden tour. So guys, first I would just like to say a big welcome to all of our new subscribers. We have gotten several over the last couple of days. Just a reminder, we are doing a 10K giveaway. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers and we are sponsored by Mighty Crop. So a big thank you to Mighty Crop for sponsoring our 10K giveaway. To enter, all you guys have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and then also to go over to IG and follow Mighty Crop. And that'll enter you to win. And once we hit 10,000 subscribers, we are going to be picking a winner. So if you guys looked at the little flyer before this little clip started, then you'll see all the things that we're giving away in the giveaway. So let's get started on the garden tour. Alright guys, so I am really starting to enjoy and appreciate the beauty that is my garden right now. So my garden is at a stage where it is starting to end its spring and start its summer. Like, I know some of you guys are in situations where it's really cold and you guys are like, it's still cold. I haven't even gotten my tomatoes out. Every time I post pictures of my tomatoes, everybody is saying that. And right now, Arizona is already starting to warm up. You guys have to remember that we get super hot later in the summer. So when you guys are enjoying your nice 90-degree summers, we're over here in 118 degrees in the early fall. So it's nice to see my garden at such a different things that are popping up in it. So I'm going to start out here and show you guys what I have going actually on my patio arch, because those are starting to fill up and I can't wait until they're all the way full. So first let's talk about my patio arch. Now this is my small arch that I build for those of you guys that have apartment gardens that want to grow vining things. This side has my midget cantaloupe. Now this is only going to probably get about halfway to the top, or like half of the top. So I'm expecting for this side to be fully green with midget cantaloupe and the other side to be fully green with the cucumber that's over there. Now something is coming through and trying to dig up certain parts of my garden. As I can see, there's a couple of like little disturbances, but I'm just going to continue to cover it up at night and maybe put down like a rat trap or something like that, because I think that that's what's going on with it. But they haven't touched the midget cantaloupe, which is what I'm excited about. And as you guys can see, I'm already starting to get tons of little flowers. So soon there will be female flowers and I can get some fruit. Now in here I've also planted some bush beans, and so we will see how that goes. And then on this side is my tasty green cucumber, and as you can see I'm already starting to get flowers on this one, and this one's starting to make a climb too as well. On this side I also planted some bush beans. I probably should have went with cowpeas, but I planted bush beans instead. My better bush, it is looking like it's seen better days, but I'm going to see if these two tomatoes ripen up. That one has some type of a little blemish on it, so I don't know if it's gonna last, but I'm just waiting to see what it does. And then its replacement, which is my purple Cherokee over here, is finally starting to get some flowers, so that's gorgeous. And then I have my lemon balm, which now that I have covered it, guys, it is doing really well, as you guys can see. And then I have some basil in the middle, and then over here this thing is just getting taller and taller and taller. As you can see, it's getting close to reaching the umbrella now. That one is my mulberry tree. So this year I really tried hard to find the perfect time to grow tomatoes in Arizona. And so I knew that in the fall was a good time to start them, but I want to see other seasons too as well. So I planted my fall ones early, and those are like these ones and like my big cherry tomato, and then I planted other tomato plants like my purple Cherokee throughout the other parts of the season. So I have those going, and then later on during monsoon planting I'm going to be planting these ones, replacements too as well. So now let's take a look at my medicinal bed. So this roselle I think is finally starting to get like some flowers or something. There's a little spider on it, so I don't want to mess with it because it's probably eaten any buggies on it, but it's starting to get like some little things on it. So I'm excited for this to start continuing to grow out. My echinacea, that's a purple echinacea right there, it's doing pretty good. And look at me growing these chamomile vertical. They will not take over this bed. I think it's so funny how those little stems just straightened right up to reach the sun for the flowers. So I think that's going to be a good plan, guys. And then I have the catnip already trying to make a comeback, and the toothache plant. Here, I'll remove that so you guys can see it better. The toothache plant is starting to put off some more buds. This one, if you guys are growing toothache, the more you pick, the more it will just throw off flowers. I can't believe all the flowers that I've gotten off of this one little plant. At the end of the season, when I go to pull the whole thing and make a big giant or a gel tincture is what I'm going to call it, I will show you guys how many flowers that I got. And then over here I have my big tub of lemongrass. Now I'm going to go in tomorrow and harvest some of this because this one's starting to dry a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, harvest these, dry them out so I have more lemongrass inside, and then let it grow back out. Because this one is just a grass, so it really just it's like cutting your grass. Guys, I love the amount of medicinal herbs I'm starting to be able to grow. I think it really shows that you don't need a big space to grow your own medicine. You just need to compact it in there and prune it so that then you're constantly using it, you're not letting it go to waste, but you're growing as much as you can. So underneath the shade cloth, I have my strawberries, and I had saw over here I have a new little strawberry coming in, so that's pretty exciting. But my strawberries are slowly but surely, they are taking their little time, but they are staying alive and they're not dying, so that's good. And then I just have some flowers that I keep having to deadhead because, yeah, I think that they're about getting on their last leg too. Now I am happy that I planted some acorn squash at the base of this because I think that the scarlet red runner bean is not going to make it much longer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to prune up the bottom of this so that it gives the acorn squash more room to kind of attach to the trellis, and then hopefully that will grow up and take its place. Now over here I have some cucumbers. These ones are beta alpha cucumbers. They're not growing as fast as the other cucumbers, so I think that they're going to need a little bit more fertilization. The same thing with the okra. I think that the big giant tomato is kind of making everything kind of grow a little bit slower, but I am starting to get a little bit of flowers and a little bit of buds on the okra plants, so I'm getting excited about that. And then we have this massive cherry tomato plant, guys. Now this thing is starting to die back a lot. As you can see, it's really starting to get crispy and die back, so I'm really just waiting for all of them, as many as they can, to turn red so that then I can pick them, and then I can go ahead and pull this giant cherry tomato plant. Now, I know a lot of you might say, like, oh, like, try and save it, but my cherry tomato plant is done. I have had that plant in there since October 2020, and it has produced well over, like, 10 pounds of cherry tomatoes, if not more. So I'm just going to let it do what it does, get its harvest, and then let something else grow in its place. So my Malabar spinach is really going to seed all over again, which I'll show you on this one, and I am actually not mad about that, because if you guys watched my last video, or the video before last, you will know that we are starting to package up the Malabar spinach seeds. So I'm actually going to start some Malabar spinach in the house to take its place so that we do still have Malabar spinach to eat. Now over here I have dropped a seed in for the loofah, and then I dropped another seed in here for the Armenian cucumber. That one is doing well, but this one, as you can see, if this happens to you guys as plants, it basically dampened off because I overwatered it. So that was my bad, but at least I have one in there, and then I have a seed in there too as well. And then I have the bell pepper that is starting to look a lot healthier. It got a lot taller and now it's starting to put out some flowers. So hopefully I'll get some peppers soon. And then look at how beautiful these are, guys. These are my squash. This one is my Mexican squash, and then this one is a patty pan. So they're starting to send out their male flowers, and then hopefully, I'm looking down in here, hopefully we'll get some female flowers coming up pretty soon, so that then we can hopefully get some squash. And then the most beautiful of them all, we have the beefsteak tomatoes. Now I cannot wait to harvest these in tomorrow's harvest video and see how many we get, but look at this, guys. They just keep coming. Like these ones are already starting to turn red, which is beautiful. Some people ask me on Facebook that if they're turning yellow, will they turn red soon? And the question is yes, they will go here to there to like start to turn like that to then be like this red. So this is just them blushing. I'm gonna try and hold the camera this way because I had so many people say to me like, the birds are gonna get those, you need to get them. And the way I prune them, I leave a big top canopy that kind of goes over the arch, and then I usually have this down too as well. So then that way my plants are kind of protected, and this is the shade cloth that I'm talking about. I also do the trick that I talked to you guys about pulling the first couple of tomatoes, so it kind of confuses the birds, and I typically don't have any issues. At least I haven't had any issues for the past year and a half, 2 years. Now look at this, guys. This eggplant is really starting to get a lot of little eggplants on it. If you guys can see in there, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 currently on this one, and then this one has a big one that I'm going to come in and grab tomorrow. Now this one isn't as purple because it's been closer to the wall, which gets more shade, but it's already starting to put off more flowers, so I'm going to get more eggplant, and I'm excited about it. My shishito peppers over here too are doing quite well. I'm getting more and more shishito peppers, and this plant's getting healthier and healthier. So as you can see, look how tall it has gotten already. The mint back there is doing pretty good. That one is a mojito mint. And then look at, I got some more green beans on this poor little dying Kentucky Wonder. But I did plant some Chinese red long noodle bean seeds in there, and then I have some going in the house just in case. I want to make sure that I get those planted on here. Look there, more green beans just coming along. And then I have some basil right there and some parsley right there. Now this shishito plant is really starting to get healthy. I got some on here that I could probably come on and start picking. I think I even have a little red one. That makes me happy. If you guys don't remember, I love red shishito peppers because they're sweet. So my 100 sweets, I'm just waiting for it to ripen up all of its little cherries and get done with that. And then I will be pulling that one and placing something in its place. I have basil down beneath it, and then I have my ground cherries, which I'm just waiting patiently for these guys. I really want to try them, but their little husk have to fill out. But there's tons of little ground cherries on here, so I'm excited about that. I have another shishito over here that you can see is doing pretty well. This one is starting to grow back and get itself back together. And then I have my jalapenos back here that are constantly throwing out little jalapenos, which this one I'm going to be getting tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about that. And then I have a rosemary, and look at this, guys. Isn't that pretty? This is a borage. This one is also a medicinal plant that I'm excited to be growing for the first time in my garden. So along with my medicinal bed, I am also trying to fill my hanging pots with medicinal stuff too as well, because I want to get as many medicinal herbs in my medicine cabinet as humanly possible. That would make me so happy. So moving on the patio, my Texas wild cherry, I think is what this one is. It's starting to look a lot healthier. This one was suffering in the pot that it was in, but I got it into a bigger pot and now it's starting to grow. So these are the ones that I am planting for the summer, so I'm hoping that all of these come through so I can continue on this tomato harvest. My artichoke, you guys keep telling me that one day it's going to give me artichokes. I'm just patiently awaiting for it. But look at how the watermelon's starting to get a lot bigger, and it's growing alongside the Swiss chard, the kale. There's more Swiss chard also coming in on the melon bed. I have a cantaloupe here, right here. This, guys, I got brown water that I spilt on this. I need to wash these leaves because that looks gross. But I have some collard greens and some collard greens here. The greens are starting to grow a lot slower now that it's so hot. But over here I have the other, this one is a sugar baby watermelon. So I'm expecting for this bed to completely, once all the greens are dying out from it, then to have the watermelon and the cantaloupe kind of take it over. Now my 3-tier pots, guys, the struggle is so real. As you can see, I lost pretty much all my beans. I have a couple bush beans, but that was something that I did wrong, so I'm gonna go ahead and start replanting that. I'm starting to take these off so that then I don't have the overwatering issue and dampening off of my beans that I had before in the past. I think that sometimes, even when you've been gardening for a while, you'll have a moment where you're like, I really shouldn't have done that. And sometimes you continue to do that, like continue to overwater it because you think for some reason, oh yeah, I'm just fine, I'm just watering it, and you don't check it. And that's what I didn't do. So I made that mistake. It happens to the best of us. I'll just move past it and plant more and not make the same mistake. Now also over here I have another Prescott tomato that is coming in to start taking place of the bigger tomatoes. And then look at this, guys. This is my salad bush cucumber. Let me get down here because you guys can see that I have some cucumbers coming up on this thing. This thing, even down there, has a lot of cucumbers on it. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I have it growing here on my Mighty Crop. I don't think it's gonna get really any bigger than this. It might probably get up to here. So I put the Mighty Crop just a little bit spaced out so that then hopefully it can keep them straight. Because I think that when you can grow a cucumber plant straight like this and trellis it, it really helps to get the pollination and get the bees seeing the cucumbers. So I'm excited for that. So if you guys don't have Mighty Crops in your garden, get them because they help out a ton. So we do have an affiliate code with it. It's Team Benson. It'll save you 10% off of your Mighty Crop. So it's linked down below too as well. Alright, so my herb bed is starting to look a little bit sparse, and that's because there's not a lot of summer herbs in Arizona. And then also I am starting to dry a lot of my herbs. So this is the time that I start to really cut them back. I have my garlic chives in here, which I'm going to be coming in for tomorrow. My sweet marjoram's growing back. The oregano is starting to grow back. These two, I don't know, they'll be growing back probably in the fall. And then I have some lemon thyme here that I've been using just for cooking. And then I have some rosemary, some garden sage, purple sage, a variegated sage, a holy basil way in the back there. And then I have some parsley there, some Greek thyme there, parsley here, and then some more rosemary and some purple basil. Now I know it might be tempting to let your herb beds get huge and overgrown and gorgeous, but it's also nice to have all of those fresh dried herbs in your home so that then you can pull from them whenever you need it, when you need to marinate something. So don't let your herbs go to waste, because when they dry up at the end of the season, what seems like overnight because it's Arizona, then you're gonna be like, oh, I wish I had some fresh herbs. And then you'll have to go to the grocery store and buy bottled herbs, or even worse, those expensive fresh herbs. Now over here I just have a little flower pot for the bees, and then I have some crookneck squash and my straight neck squash. As you can see, those are starting to get so much bigger. And then it looks funny because like the chives are already trying to grow out a little bit, so that's kind of funny to me. But that whole little thing needs to get redone. The chives I think I'm gonna just clean up and then keep and let them grow back. And then my lemon tree, or my lime tree, it's not a lemon, it's a lime, it's really starting to do well. So hopefully come this spring I will get some, or no, this fall I will get some limes. So also guys, I don't show this one a lot, but this is my aloe plant, and it's starting to get big enough arms on it to where I can start using them for my medicinal purposes, like my hair or for our skin. Now it has also given me tons of little pups that it is just shot off. So I'm thinking that one day this entire pot is going to be full of aloe vera. So that is it for my garden tour, guys. I am going to go through and water and kind of continue adding mulch to my garden. And I hope that you guys are growing yourselves fabulous gardens, because remember, even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye, guys.